All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you. It's been a minute. Yo, before we start this video, man, I gotta go ahead and get this off my chest. First of all, I want to say thank you guys so much for all the support, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be on shows, the whole 9 yards. I appreciate everybody who rocks out with us, especially when we go to Solidcast, the whole 9 yards. You guys are amazing. Now, I do want to shout out some people real quick before we start this video. First of all, I want to shout out vidIQ for the amazing opportunity to be interviewed by them. Actually, I interviewed by them twice, and that'll be posted soon, the other one. But one just went live with my brother, Vyyyper. Make sure you guys check that out, man. It's in the description below. Awesome opportunity. It was incredible to be interviewed, and it was a blast. Aside from that, I want to give a big shout out to IGN for finally posting the actual article that we've been working on for quite some time, especially with me, you know, my gameplay and whatnot of GTA, so it's up there on the channel, also in the description below. And I also want to thank you guys again for all the support and our special sponsor for today's video, our good friends over at Maono. Shout out to these guys, man. I'll be testing this out come Friday, and we'll be doing a video follow-up on that, you know, as we continue. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Without further ado, your boy's back. There's a lot to go over, and I'm probably just going to cover two topics. Let's make this video super quick to the point, and we'll be back, obviously, tomorrow with RGT to cover the rest. Sound good? Let's start the video. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Big Cloud coming at you once again. Hope you guys doing well. Welcome back officially to the channel. Let's get into this, man. So we got two topics. I'm just going to hit them right out the bat, man. I already gave my opinion on this particular one on Solidcast. Make sure you guys check that out on Blaze4K's channel. We're live every Wednesday. So that's another show I do aside from RGT. And yeah, make sure you guys pull up. Show some love. Now, let's go ahead and get into this, man. This has been the big... I wouldn't even say it's been a source of frustration. It has been a big, it's been a big conversation in terms of okay, what are we going to get type of thing, right? And of course, I'm talking about the new PlayStation Plus tiers. Now, for the longest time, we've been talking about PlayStation Plus going through a change. And one of the biggest things that was mentioned multiple times was the fact that PlayStation Now and Plus was going to merge into one and become one big service. And it's official. It's now officially going to be that way. Now, of course, the actual leaks were actually on point too. This is why I sat back, because I'm like, you know, never say never. A lot of these leaks that we've been seeing, especially for the PlayStation, have been on point. Now, granted, some have been off, let's say, pricing-wise, right? Some have been off, let's say, in terms of naming. But the overall concept and the overall way they have gone about it has been dead on the money, especially with the way these tiers are set and the names of these tiers. All this was leaked a few weeks prior, and now we're finally here and we got the official confirmation courtesy of Sony. So what's going on with the tiers, and why is there a lot of well, anger going around? Well, one of the biggest things that's been going around for the tiers is the fact that there's no day and date game releases for the PlayStation 5. Now, I said this before as well, and I still stand by this, you know, especially down the road, because we don't know where the future lies with this. Now, Jim Ryan has basically doubled down and said that he believes that the console will be devalued if they drop all their stuff day and date in a service. So for those of you wondering whether or not it's day and date, it's not going to be day and date for quite some time. However, you never know with Jim Ryan, man. Jim Ryan likes to experiment and go with places, man. And you look at the way, you know, these games are dropping on PC, you never truly know how it's going to be handled when it comes to this, you know, service. Now, judging by the way the thing is set up, this is basically what you're going to get anyway. So for the essentials, all right, this is how it is. The three tiers. You got PlayStation Plus Essentials. PlayStation Plus Essential is basically the basic one that we have right now. You get 2 monthly games, you get exclusive discounts, cloud storage for saved games, online multiplayer access, and there are no changes for existing PlayStation Plus members in this particular tier. So for $60 a year, you're basically getting that. You get 2 downloadable games, the whole 9 yards, okay? And that's $60 a year. When you go to the extra, which is $100 a year, and this is where we start getting into the more questionable stuff, but we'll go through the tiers before we talk about that. In the extra tier, you get the following. It provides all the benefits of the essential tier, of course, adds a catalog of up to 400 plus of your most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games, including blockbuster hits from our PlayStation Studios catalog, and third-party partners games in the extra tier are downloadable for play. Now, if you guys remember, on the PS5, you got access to the PlayStation, I guess you call it the classic section, right? Remember how you had like you had games like Days Gone that were kind of like optimized for the PS5? Kind of sounds like they're adding on to that, but they're hiding that behind the $100 tier. I don't know what they're gonna do with that tier rate, like with that catalog that we have right now. Is that gonna carry over, or is that gonna be ripped from us and put behind the $100 paywall and you have to pay for that? Now, the only reason I would see that not being a problem is if they're legit adding upon it. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's say every 6 months or not even 6 months, every month or so, right? They'll add a game on there. Now, obviously, it's a little too early to add the PS5 games on there, right? Because the games are brand new. So I don't expect Returnal, well, not Returnal. I don't expect like the newer releases to release on there probably until about, let's say, 6 months. I would see something like that happening. That would actually make sense. I mean, keep in mind too, Sony's doing games as a service games as well. I think there's like 10 that's in development. So if you have games as a service games, more than likely those games are going to be free to play in terms of multiplayer, and you can have those games transition into this, and they can throw deals at you and whatnot, and have that be part of the service overall. But in terms of like what's being offered right now, it is kind of questionable. But we'll answer this obviously as we keep continuing here. So for $100 you get that, and for the premium one, the $120 a year, you get the following. It adds up to 340 additional games, including PS3 games available via cloud streaming, a catalog of beloved classic games available on both streaming and downloadable options from the original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP generations. Offers include streaming access for original PlayStation, PS2, PSP, and PS4 games offered in the extra and premium tiers and markets, where PlayStation Now is currently available. Customers can stream games using PS4 and PS5 consoles and PC. Time-limited game trials will also be offered in this tier, so customers can try select games before they buy. We heard about this for quite some time, about the demo, so there you guys go. That's under the $120 tier. That right there has a lot of people already talking about that as well. But also, let's go into this right here a little deeper. The PS3, PS4, PS2 titles. Now, there are going to be some PS2, 1, and PSP games that's going to be downloadable. I think that's what they said too. That's going to be available. But the big elephant in the room here is the PS3. Now, there's already a emulator out there that was made not too long ago, and it's actually pretty damn good. They're actually emulating all the PlayStation 3 games as we speak. So to the people that might say, oh, it's impossible, it's actually not impossible, and there's really no refuting what I'm about to say here. For $120 a year, you would expect the option to download everything in this category. Now, I'm not saying they have to have like the full Xbox One type of treatment, right, where they're like upscale, they have like better performance output and whatnot. No, if they wanted to add that, that would be cool. If they add that as an option down the road and add upon it, kind of like how we got PS Now or PlayStation Plus. I'm sorry, no, not PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Network. I'm sorry, back when we first got that. You remember how bare bones it was? They build upon it, they add the trophy stuff later, they add all that stuff. I mean, if you need to go that route, Sony, go that route. Personally, I think adding an option to download everything would add much more incentive to this down the road, as opposed to streaming games. To the people who like to cap and say streaming is everything, I have no problem streaming. Most of these dudes are not streaming these games. Let's keep it a buck. You're not streaming Metal Gear Solid Guns of the Patriots. You're not streaming Resistance 3. You're not streaming all this stuff. No, you would love the option as much as I would to download these games and play them, especially at a higher performance, if it was optional on the PlayStation 5. And on top of all that, Sony could also offer trophy support for these games. I'm just saying, it's a gold mine right there. Right there, like, nostalgia is key here behind this entire service, right? Why not embrace the nostalgia and really go overboard with it and really have a select team go and refine each particular game? Some people might say, oh, that's too much money. Some people might damage your and say, oh, who plays old games? But yet people are championing the service. If you don't want to play old games, you don't like old games, why are we championing the service? Clearly, we see the value in this service and we see value in old games, right? Why not go all out and embrace it, have fun with it, have, extra incentive for the box, and you can add more value to it. Just saying, a lot of people are really bent out of shape for the fact that there's no day and date releases on this. And personally, even though I see and I feel your pain, I don't see them really hurting with them not having day-and-date games in there. But I see, again, people see the price tag, they're looking at Game Pass, they see the whole 9 yards. I see it, trust me. But it really, again, it's going to come down to what Sony does. Now, as far as this comparing it to Game Pass, because I'm saying it multiple times now, it's hard for me to compare this to Game Pass. The reason why it's hard for me to compare it to Game Pass is because we haven't seen it in action yet. We haven't seen what we're getting. We haven't seen the games and whatnot. We already got the games for this month that were revealed. I forgot what they were, so don't quote me on those. I'm not even worried about those. But when this service goes live, the question is really going to be quality and what we're getting with these tiers. If Sony really wants you to pay $120 a year for the the extra, the premium price of this, right? Then we got to see some games on here that really just, make that price worth it. I'm just saying, man. You can't just throw, like, when you asking for $120 a year, listen, everybody's going to expect every single month to be bangers. You see what I'm saying? It can't be like, yo, this month's lit, that month's lit, that month's lit, but this month's kind of meh. No, it can't be no meh for $120 a year. That's just my take on that whole situation, all right? There you go. More on that, of course, tomorrow on RGT. So make sure you guys tune in, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We appreciate y'all for all the support. Moving on to the last topic here, man. Big acquisition going around. Now, a lot of you have hit me up about this. Do you know anything about this? Personally, no. I don't know anything about this acquisition. I've heard a lot of different reports. Jeff Grubb saying one thing, Greg Miller saying another, conflicting reports on what it could possibly be. I see a lot of people throwing From Software out here, saying that From Software could be the game or the big purchase. I really doubt it's From Software, guys. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And that's not me being malicious or anything. I just don't think From Software is really what Sony's eyeing right now. Yeah, they formed a capital alliance with them recently, right? They became shareholders in there, but that's about it. They own like 1% in from what that whole thing was, like 1 or 10% of From Software. So I don't think it's going to happen in that particular case. So that brings us back to the same two that we mentioned before. The same two that we've been mentioning prior was Capcom and Square Enix. And with the ways Capcom's been acting, especially with Resident Evil, I kind of would see Capcom being the big investment because, number one, Sony owns Evo. Capcom just showed Street Fighter 6. And also, Capcom is holding Resident Evil 4 very close to the chest. And you guys remember at the last Resident Evil reveal, which was for Resident Evil Village, it was kind of like a pretty straightforward approach how they went about it, right? It was simple. Like, they had it all thought out. It was like perfectly executed for them, and it just made sense the way they handled it for the anniversary. So I kind of see them flowing together a little bit more easily than I see, like something like the From Software. Don't get me wrong, if it's From Software, I'll be blown away just like the rest of you, but I don't think it's From Software. I really think it's Capcom, and it would make sense, especially with Evo, and especially with Sony and the patents that we covered before about you being able to bet on your favorite streamers, and when it comes to these fights and these tournaments, makes sense. Sony can actually make bank off of that and really push that down the road. Makes a hell of a lot of sense. Aside from that, it could possibly also be Square Enix, because Square Enix in the Final Fantasy deal, especially with their working relationship, and also, just by the way things have been going. I mean, hell, wasn't Forspoken supposedly going to be have some kind of deal with Sony, if I remember correctly? I forgot, personally. I haven't covered that game in a minute, but I remember we got some information on that game too, some deep dives and whatnot. So I'll put it up between those two. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments section below. It is good to be back, man. Let me tell you. I appreciate all you guys for all the awesome support, the love, the comments, the whole 9 yards. I will see you guys first thing tomorrow on the RGT podcast. And until then, I appreciate everybody for everything you've done for me on this channel. And good times forever, man. I love every single last one of you. I support every single last one of you. Thank you so much for all the love, support. And of course, y'all be blessed. Y'all be easy. And I'll do this real quick for the dudes who hit me up, because I had a conversation with somebody off air about certain people. So what I'll do is do a quick purge of my block list. There you go, because I'm in that type of mood. That's right. Everybody's off my block list that I've had blocked. On YouTube, not Twitter. That's a different story. Anyway, there you go. I'll throw that out there just to have some positive vibes for you. Sound good? All right. See you guys on the next one. Y'all be good. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be easy. Catch you later. Peace.